Making sure everything is on. Perfect. Good morning, everyone. So today I'm starting the lateral line. I'll post something on my Instagram that will show you where it's connected. Pretty much the line runs from the side of the foot here all the way up straight to the side of the neck here. So this is the fascial lines which I train with that show the connection rather than the muscle attachment lines, where there's just like a distinct beginning and end, because really the body always moves as one. So the lateral line is for balance and is the side-side motion. So as I'm standing here, right, I was talking about my rotation and my right side being dropped a bit. So I'm going to move up a bit. Okay, so right now my left side, my right side feels like it's working down and my left side feels like it's working up. So that's two things. So one is that's me falling into my left and not pushing off of my left as well. And a lot of times when there is a rotational issue, there tends to be a issue with the side line. So this is the balance. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to get this side working up and this side relaxed and working down, so I can straighten and get rid of this kind of bend in my knees to fix this line. And this also, if you're working on yourself, this also like fixes your love handles and everything, because I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna stretch this whole line. You can also stretch this line doing tree pose and stuff like that in yoga. But it's more complex because there's a couple different issues that I have and that I'll see with my clients, so I'll point that out as I go along. So today is going to be lateral line and then the beginning of the side plank. So I'll show you the line I'm working on today. So here it is. So you see side of the neck and down. Good. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my arm and I'm going to go into a lunge. So I'm not going to be straight here just because I want to shorten the motion first so I can feel the connection. Because the fact of the matter is like I'm really tight in here and I'm trying to get rid of this. So in order to get rid of this side, I need that length, I need it to open, and I need my sides to stretch out so I can come back. So the first thing I'm going to do here is take the band and I'll lower it down for you guys a bit. Let's see. Okay. And if you don't have a band, that's fine. Honestly, you can just take a TheraBand like this and you can just tie it in the door and then hook it in. And I'm not pulling the band, I'm allowing the band to pull me, to traction me as I push off from the ground. So I'll show you what I mean here. So here we go. The band will go around the back of my wrist and on. And from here, I'm taking my left side now and I'm pushing off just to start to open up the side. So I'm going to do a couple pushes. 2, 1. Good. So now I'm going to hold it. Now I'm going to drive my right knee in and I'm going to do the rotation. So I can feel this because this side likes to come forward. So this is easy for me to stretch here, but coming back and opening up, this is where all the tension comes in. So nice and slow. Good. I'm also trying to get that connection here. So I'm not just trying to pull back with my arm, I'm trying to let my arm be pulled, and then I'm trying to engage my core to allow the side here to push out and push back into it. 2 and 1. Good. So I can really feel the tightness in this line here. And now I'm going to go to the other side. So for me, for this side, I felt this was easier for me to be forward in my stretch here than it was for me to be up and back. And I'm sure it's going to be the opposite on the other side. Good. So I'll show you here. So now, same thing, bend in here. Good. Sinking down. And so like I said, this side already wants to pull up. I want balance. So I'm not quite feeling this side right. So I just want to do some back adjustments where I'm just pushing my hip back. So I'm allowing this side to drop from my lower stomach here. And this is for me. So yeah, as I can see, and I have to keep my core on, but it's easier for me to go back on this side than it is for me to come forward. And as I come forward right now I feel this right in here. And this is the spot that I want to start opening up. And I want to start taking this into exercise. And as I'm holding my core, like I'm actually sweating doing this. Because I'm finally moving, doing what I'm supposed to be doing, which is moving from new places in the body. Good, so now that I opened up these two side lines here and here, I'm going to take this into a side plank. So for a side plank, there's actually two ways to do a side plank. One is 90 degree and the other is 45 degree. So the 90 degree gets the complete like quadratus lumborum and the complete side, whereas the 45 degree promotes the rotation movement and allows you to get more of the obliques. So I'll show you what I mean right here. And like, as I do this, I might not feel it as well. I think there probably will be a rehab exercise I'll need to do with the right side because my body is pulling away. So we'll see how this goes. So I'm going to start with my shoulder and my knees in line and my hips a little bit back. And then I'm going to lengthen the neck, pull up the core, right? So my stomach is pulling me down this way. I'm resisting, I'm pulling it back up. Okay, as I push my feet into the ground, I'm going to push my feet into the ground and I'm going to thrust my hips forward. Okay, and then looking straight, I'm going to hold. So to start is make sure that you have more tension here than you do on your shoulder and on your knee. What's really good about the side plank, and again, right, I want to come back on this one. So for me, because I'm not completely straight, this is me opening up straight. This is where I want to be, right? Because this is the side that I'm collapsed into. So on the side plank, it's really good to note because you don't have to worry about your pelvis as much as the normal plank being in neutral, because the second you push your hips forward and you bring your legs and your arms, your back stays in neutral. So a lot of times this is prescribed with people with back pain. So I'm going to hold this here. Okay, so now I'm opening. So really, this is going to be the side plank for me. I'm going to actually worry about opening. So this is the 45-degree plank. But on this side, I don't need the 45-degree plank. Like, I feel that this would be easy for me to do because this is where my compensations are kind of pulling me. But right here is where I need to be to hold my plank. Good, and I'm going to relax. So I actually felt that there's tension here because I was pushing in, but from the knee all the way to the neck. And that's like another thing about the sideline as well. So if I relax, you can see like my neck is dipped to my right, and that has a lot to do with rotating and coming across the body, holding my phone. But if I can get my side level, you can see I won't even focus on the neck, I'll just focus on the ground. But you can see at the very end, once I get my rib out here, this rib is dipped, my neck will come straight. Do that one more time. So here I am. Yeah, and that's not me playing with my neck or anything. That's just it, taking it into motion. So next, I'll try my right side and I'll see how it goes. So I'll do the same thing. I'll do the setup here where I'm legs together, arm, okay? So I lengthen my spine, chin up, and then what I'm gonna do, pressure on the feet, the knees, push, and come up. Okay, so what do I feel on this side? So I feel that I need to really get my core in and that I want to be, it's easier for me to open, but actually there's too much tension coming through the shoulder for this side. So with my compensation, this is when like you're doing the plank and the instructor's like, hold it, hold it, hold it. And you're like, I don't know if I should. I feel it in my shoulder. I don't really feel my sides as much. It just doesn't feel right. So for me, it doesn't feel right. So I'm gonna stop and I'm gonna pause and I'm gonna say, okay, my left side, I can actually feel my side, but my right side, like a lot of the tension goes into my shoulder. So I know that when I look at my physique that I'm pulled forward here. So what I'm gonna do on this is before I go into the side plank is there's a couple ways I can tackle this. One is I can bring my side plank up and start working on it down, but that's not gonna fix the compensation. So I'm actually going to fix the compensation right now. So for me, I'm gonna get a ball, and what I'm gonna do is, here, let me turn this a little bit so you guys can see. Okay, is my right side, my right ribs are, I guess, are pulled back. So really what needs to happen is, okay, I have this going on. This is pulled forward, this is pulled back. Okay, this is my compensation. So because this is my weakness, and this is really what I'm trying to fix, is, and it's easy for me to move from my right side, but that's like years and years of sports where the left side is the stability side and the right side is the movement side, right? Like how many times have I like kicked the ball where this had to be stable and this had to be movement, right? And then writing and everything like that. Writing, throwing. So that's why, like, even if I move, my right side feels a lot easier to move than my left side, because my left side really needs movement and my right side needs stability. So from here, I have this going on. So this is actually pulling back. So as this pulls forward, this pulls back, then my shoulder pops forward. So in order to fix my shoulder, yes, I can just pull my shoulder back, try to squeeze my shoulder blade, but that's not gonna fix the problem. The problem is I need to do this. So I need this coming towards my right and my right rib coming towards my left. So how I'm going to do that is I'm going to grab a ball and I'm going to place tension on it right here. And then I'm going to push it forward. And as I push it forward, I'm going to hold my core. So I'm actually putting pressure more on my right side. Here, I'll show you the rotation. So I'm doing this first, right? I'm getting tension in my stomach to move to my right heel. I'm pulling my stomach and allowing tension to come to my right heel. So as I hold that tension there, then this stays, I push my shoulder blades forward. Okay, and as I do this, I hold and I'm getting really the tension from my hands through my shoulder, and I actually feel this all the way down the sides because I'm rotating into it. The more I rotate back into my right side, the more I feel this. And a lot of times, like, you'll have to see where you're compensating. Most of the time, though, I find that most people do have a rotation issue because of driving, though, because their pelvis, like, they'll sit more on their left side of their pelvis or collapse into the right because their pedal is there and they're not evenly pushing their feet into the opposite side. So when you drive your car, there's a side for the pedal, but then there's a side to rest. But really, if you want to even up the pelvis, the amount of tension that you put on your right foot to even it out, you should put the same amount of tension on your left foot into the stability part. Good. So actually I feel, and the more I'm starting to do this and push this away, I'm really actually starting to feel a stretch back here at the back of my shoulder, which is really good because that's the part that's compressed. So now I'm going to take this into my side plank. I'm going to see how it feels. I'll probably will need some kind of lift though. So any kind of plank, higher you start, the easier it is. And then as you go lower and lower, the more tension it creates. So I'll lower this down. I'll try it again and I'll see how it feels. So I'm going to do it again, but this time, drive this back, drive this forward to feel that connection there. And I'm going to do that same connection, like the more I can get this line, I'm going to do that same connection at the beginning when I'm doing my arm stretch as well. Okay, feet, and then I'm going to initiate from here, push, and forward. So 1 second, there we go, and head back. And actually I feel that a lot better. For me, let's see, right now, it's better. I should be up a little bit higher though, because it's still a lot of tension on the ground. So technically, when I do this side, to get the stability on it, it's not as good as my stability on my left. So I would actually bring like a couple of risers in to the equation. Just so that I'm not just killing my shoulder, right? And then I would do it more this way for this side, where hips, so I'm pushing this knee into the floor, this leg straight, hip forward, down, and hold. And then I can really focus on, okay, driving this back, driving this forward. And that actually feels a lot better as an exercise as a whole. So I'm gonna hold this a couple more seconds. And this is key. This is listening to your body and knowing where you're at in the exercise. Okay. My right side will get that stability as I even out, but I'm not gonna push it right away because I want to be able to do the bigger exercises later on. Good, and rest. And that was good because I actually felt like my leg there as well going into my side. And yeah, and that's what I was going for. So I know today was a little bit of a bigger lesson. So hopefully you watched the whole thing, and I'll try to get the segments a little bit better. Like, I know really what I need to tackle, but I'm trying to break it down for you guys so you can see my thought process and what I'm doing with the exercise. So I hope you enjoy. Leave any questions or comments. I promise I'll get to the comments at the maybe in a couple weeks or at the end of my segment, but right now I'm just really focused on getting this done. And it's really not comfortable for me to be on camera with my shirt off and stuff like that. But when I do it for you, it has a purpose, so it's easy. So thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you next week. All right, I'll see you tomorrow, not next week, tomorrow.